just coming off of a deload week, and instead of just going full bore right back into it, I'm going to do a bit of a tune-up day. So I'm doing some different squat variations. I'm focusing on front squats, I'm focusing on high bar squats, and then I'm going to finish the day off with some dynamics box squats, which is an accessory that I use to cultivate speed and power and core stability. Now, instead of high bar squats or front squats, you can either use a cambered squat bar or something like a Duffalo bar, something that moves the center of gravity of the weights forward a little bit, which forces you into a high bar squat position and gives you the benefits of high bar squats. But the problem with that is you never really cultivate the arm flexibility, and if you're going to be doing things like overhead presses or clean and jerks, that sort of thing, you really need to have that flexibility. So you might as well just start working at it with the front squats. Now, when you're doing front squats or high bar squats, one of the common things people run into is the dreaded butt wink, or that's a pelvic tilt. I'm going to show you these diagrams here so you can kind of see what's going on. The major cause of butt wink, basically it happens when your tailbone tucks under your pelvis in the bottom of the squat. And that's usually caused by an impingement, and it's really easy to solve that. You want to, make sure you maintain a rigid neutral spine, keep your core tight, and B, just open up your hips a hair. Squat shoes can also help with that, depending on your ankle mobility issues. So for me, I know what causes my butt wink. I have bone-to-bone contact at the bottom of the spine, the squat. The socket is called, if I'm pronouncing this right, it's the acetabulum, and it's in the forward position. And I get a bone-to-bone contact at the bottom of the squat, so it's really easy for me to fix. All I have to do is make sure that I'm maintaining a neutral spine and just open up my stance about a half an inch in each direction, so an inch total. No matter what kind of squat you're doing, whether it's high bar, low bar, cambered, belt, it doesn't matter. As long as you're generating all of your force directly against gravity, meaning that the path of the barbell is always in a straight up and down line, that will correct almost all of your form issues. Well, people will say, oh, you're leaning too far forward, or your back's too straight, or your butt link, or this or that. If your feet are flat on the ground and you're generating force through the midsole, the center of your foot, meaning you're not rocking up on your toes, you're not coming up on your heels, your feet are flat, and that barbell is moving in a straight up and down path, you practically can't help but be doing the squat right. It doesn't matter where the barbell is. It doesn't matter how long your legs are. It doesn't matter what your dimensions are. If all of your force is being exerted directly against gravity and there's no movement in the lateral direction, forward or backwards, any inefficiencies, your form's going to be correct. It can't help but be. So, you can listen to all these coaches that are, you post a video and someone will say that you're, whatever. Your back needs to be straighter, or you're leaning too far forward. You need to be looking down. You need to be looking up. Chances are, if the barbell is moving straight up and down, and there's no inefficiency, no lateral movement, chances are your form is perfect. Something to consider. Man, I love these box squats. I just did a short video on them, and they're called dynamic squats. I got them from Elite FTS, Dave Tate, John Meadows, and the whole premise is you have a really slow negative to the box. You pause on the box to break the stretch reflex, so that's an isometric exercise because you're holding the weight and you have to keep your core stable, and then when you come out of the hole, you're generating as much force as possible. Boom, you're firing up, and that right there makes the exercise exponentially harder. So you're going to find that you can't use as much weight when you're doing these. But since I started doing these box squats, and I don't do them every week, but every couple of weeks I do them as an accessory. And I think if I wanted to, I could replace my barbell squatting with just doing these. And then when I get ready for competition, just start, a few weeks out, start doing regular depth barbell squats. And I bet you I'd be willing to bet all my money that I would be perfectly fine Ever since I started doing these, everything has exploded. My stability has improved. My deadlift's improved. Everything's improved. It's just an awesome accessory. And I've had people say that you can't sit on the box, and the way I rock with it, with the weight, you have to. Like, you could probably get the rocking down, but the whole idea is when you're on the box, you got to keep everything tight. You're locked in. You're coming back. It's an isometric hold, and I'm leaning forward until I hit that center of gravity, and then I fire. It's like pulling the trigger of a gun. If you don't do them the way that I prescribed, will you get the same benefits that are being advertised by the people that pioneered this exercise? I don't think so. I don't think it's just going to be the same exercise. I see a lot of people doing box squats where they just touch and go. And I can understand people that have mobility issues doing that. But if you're like me and you're able to do an ass to grass squat, you have no mobility issues whatsoever, what benefit am I getting from just touching a box? None whatsoever. It's just I might as well just do regular squats. It's pointless to me. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Conversely, the anecdotal evidence I have to suggest that this is a better way is the fact that a year ago my squat was high 400s and now it's high 500s. And I'm 47 years old. You want you to put 100 pounds on a lift in a year, especially when you've been training for the better part of a decade. I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing them because I'm getting awesome results from them. And, hey, worst case scenario, try them for 4 weeks. Do them the way they're prescribed. I'll put a link in the comments so you can go to the page and check out the people that pioneered it. And if after 4 weeks you don't see an improvement, I'll give you your money back. Seems like a good trade, right?